Alrighty, welcome to another episode of Tyler's Yarns. Today, this is going to be our first episode of 2023. We've got three boys here with us. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Xander. So yeah, one of four from Banana Lagoon.
Oh yeah, my name's Yash. I'm also one of four from Banana Lagoon.
Yeah, nice.
I'm the third member, Ben.
Yeah, and Marcus isn't here as well.
Yeah,
so Marcus is the fourth. And yeah, unfortunately he couldn't be here today, but shout out to Marcus.
Yeah, so I just wanted to jump in because I've been following your journey pretty much from the start of when you started a few months ago. What is Banana Lagoon?
Good question. So I think to start, we'll start with the name, which is quite interesting because it was a couple of years ago. Yash and I was in the Gold Coast with some mates, and we'd always wanted to do something. Yeah. We didn't know what we wanted to do, but we always wanted to do something, and yeah, just thinking of the name of something, we thought, maybe we'll do some clothing, and just throwing around names. And I can't even really remember how I thought of it. It was just kind of throwing words around. And one day I said Banana Lagoon, and we just went, that's it. Yeah.
It was just like weird, but it was like perfectly weird. Like it's memorable, but it's also like, what does that even mean? Yeah.
Well, what was the moment when you found, like, when you chose the name? Like, did you go just were like, yep, that's it?
No, so it was 2 years. So it was right before COVID, and we didn't think anything of it. We thought, oh, that's sick. And then we're like, anyways, and you just went on with your life. Yeah. And then it wasn't until the start of this year, after New Year's, we thought, let's do something. Like, we thought of the name. I think Yash spoke to me. He spoke to Marcus and said, you know what, let's start a clothing brand. And I thought, all right, let's do it. And then thought of that name again. And then we thought, we'll use that. So
have you guys always been sort of into clothes as well, like before you started this?
Not me really, to be honest, which is interesting. More so Yash.
I feel like I've always been into fashion. So I wanted to start something just to kind of get my foot into the door. Yeah. And then when these guys were interested in it as well, I was like, fuck it, it's a no-brainer. Yeah.
How have you found, because you've got such like a big team, like there's four of you, how have you found working together? Because like, say with me, I've got one business partner, and we don't see eye to eye sometimes, but like, obviously it makes it a lot harder when there's four of you, you know?
I think that definitely at the start, I think that we're learning at the start. We wouldn't really we'd have ideas that would conflict, but most of the time we were pretty, we'd think the same things. But I think it's more so just working out roles for everyone and what everyone can do just to make sure that we're maximizing what we can do and what we can achieve. But you know what? I think we're still working it out. But no, it's been great.
Yeah, like with Banana Lagoon, how's the journey you have starting from the start to now? Yeah. Like, do you want to go through that?
Yeah, sure. So we officially created it on the 18th of January. Yeah. But I don't think our first post was until March.
Not even then. I think it would have been like June. Like, we put it on like delay for a bit because we were trying to get the samples done and everything before we started posting. Because there was like a bit of like doubt in our heads. We're like, oh, like what if we make the account, make some posts, and then it just doesn't like falls through. But then once we got the samples in, we were like, all right, cool, this is something. And then we just started posting in June or July.
Yeah. But in saying that, once we registered the business in January, we thought, like, we have to do it now. We've, set everything up. Like, you have to do it now. You can't just back out. And then, our first posts were in July. And then from there, the growth's been incredible. And we're just, extremely grateful for that. We didn't expect that it would pick up as much as it did, honestly. We thought, we did have belief in what we could do. We knew that we could progress it relatively quickly, but not to this extent. And we're extremely grateful.
Yeah, because you've obviously built a pretty big community now, and like, how has that been for you, building a community? And how's it been? Yeah, no,
I think it's really cool. And we were just speaking before about people that you don't know buying your clothes. At the start, we thought, all right, maybe it'll just be our friends and a couple of other people, because we did have some people promoting for us that we thought maybe other people will be interested in our clothes just from seeing it from them because they like them. Yeah. But no, we did not expect the amount of people that we don't know buying our clothes so early on, and hopefully we'll continue to be like that.
How's it feeling when you got your first order and you guys are packing it?
Because I remember we we launched on a Thursday, and I just finished work. We got to his house, and we were like just sitting there. And I went to the bathroom. I came back, and 2 of the hoodies were already sold out.
Yeah,
and then I was like, "What? Like, are you sure it's like not a mistake on the app?" Like, we kept refreshing, and then they just kept dropping, and then all the hoodies were gone in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, all your Spotify or Shopify.
Well, so the funny thing was, we didn't actually start with Shopify. We started with Wix. And so this was the thing at the start, we weren't sure. And yeah, this goes back to not really knowing what we're doing at the start. We weren't really sure of what we wanted to do with the website. We thought, we just got to get something up just so people can buy the clothes. And yeah, it wasn't until the second drop that then we thought, all right, we should probably go to Shopify. The Wix website was good for the start, the first drop. But yeah, after that, we needed a neater website that people could actually navigate around. Yeah.
So what are some of the things you've sort of learnt? Because you just said you learnt that about the website. So what are some other things that you learned? Because you guys are only like fresh. And it'd probably be good for our listeners to be.
For me, I think time. I sort of deal with more of the logistical things. So just trying to time things right. And you never know what's going to happen with things being delayed. You know, if you have a shoot, someone can't rock up to the shoot, so you have to improvise. And things like that, I think we're continually learning and just planning ahead. I think it's difficult at the start because you're not sure what the future holds. Like we had the second hoodie drop after, so the first drop was in the middle of August and we didn't think we were going to do another drop until the summer. But we were like, people like the hoodies, people like the design, why not? So we then had to plan that, and then that sort of, you know, having to improvise and planning that pretty quickly and making decisions pretty quickly.
And not making sure you're like not rushing as well.
Exactly right. Because I think if you rush, then that can create other problems. But just sort of making a decision, everyone agreeing and being like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So you feel like it's easy for you guys to work together now, like with that? Like agreeing on stuff?
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, there are times obviously when you don't agree with what someone said, but I think it's important to listen to everyone's ideas and then not necessarily compromise, but just take the best parts of everyone's idea and form it into one idea, the brand identity.
Yeah, because what's your brand identity and your vision for the brand in the future?
Well, I think Yash, maybe you can speak about this.
Well, the identity is more just like a lifestyle, not like a athlete brand, but just like I don't know how to word it. Like I can envision it, but I can't word it. It's like young people who just like go out, but like not going out, like just having fun, going to the beach, like not surf skate, kind of surf skate, but not surf skate.
Yeah.
So you're just a lifestyle,
just a lifestyle brand, really.
Yeah. No, I think for the time being, we'll stick with that, and then slowly just see where it goes in that sense.
Yeah, then eventually
and niche it down.
Yeah.
But for the time being, I think that's working really well.
Especially when you're like building up a community as well, and you gotta figure out like, who's your like main demographic.
Yeah, you don't want to make it too specific just yet.
Yeah. And like, because you guys are only so new, so it's like you
exactly
need to
right.
like figure out who you guys are as a brand as well.
100%.
What do you feel like you want the brand to be? Like
that's a good question.
Have you guys thought about this?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we've spoken about
I think that, obviously, try and create an international scene. It's actually interesting. We've added someone onto the team because I'm going on exchange to France for 6 months. And so, the goal there is hopefully to grow it in France as well, and then try and expand it in Europe and then America. I think that the United States would be great for our brand. That's sort of the identity that we're looking to, get towards, is like that sort of Los Angeles surf skate vibe, Florida too. Just sort of that warm vibe, I think, is something that we really aspire to reach.
Yeah, I can definitely see that in the like aesthetic of your Instagram and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Do you think you're like with the Instagram and marketing? How do you think you're going with all that? Yeah,
well, I think the marketing has been really good. I think that we were fortunate at the start. We knew a couple of people and we're like, do you want to help us out? So I'd like to give a shout out to Naja Vukatic. She was really the first one that saw the vision. And she would promote it on her story. No cost involved, just out of love, she would do that. And then who else? Who are some other names that we can set it? There are quite a few. I think that Nick Watson as well was the first up and coming footy player. Will hopefully get drafted in next draft. He posted it, and then I think that sort of created a little bit of hype for us. And then from there, then people saw that and they're like, oh, we really like your stuff, and then DMing us, and then from there you can sort of market it a little bit easier.
Yeah, yeah, it's always good when you get a celeb or like a future celeb wearing your stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, because I think it was during the week, I think a massive celeb followed our Instagram, Lewis Capaldi.
Oh,
yeah, crazy. So I was like,
that's
mental.
So sick.
Yeah, but then you realize, and then he's been buying from you for the whole year, and you're like, what? Like, it's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
But I guess like that would be the same feeling as like footy players for you guys.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Especially now because like you've got one footy player, so it's like then it all starts. Like,
and then they tell their friends about it.
Yeah.
We found that like the friends would hit it up and be like, "Oh, my mate's always wearing this. Can you, hook me up?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure, bro. Like we can help you out."
Are you guys doing restocks or
No.
so you guys are doing no restocks?
We had that was like our main like argument we had at the first was the restock the original hoodies.
You can either go two ways. Like you could do like go for a sellout or then like hold a hoodie for ages. You know what I mean? Like and just like keep restocking it yourself.
I think it'll be selective though. I think that for now it'll be like that, but that's not to say that we won't. There might be like specific hoodies never come back. Other hoodies, we'll see.
If you got like so much love, from one or like bring it out in different colors,
exactly.
Which a lot of brands do as well.
Yep, no, definitely.
But you're talking about like sampling before, like how have you found that sort of like sampling process, like and like managing your time to like have the drops ready as well?
Yeah, it's fun. I find it really fun.
Yeah,
because I like to go out like into different stores and figure out materials that I like.
Yeah,
I figure out the blends and then I send them to the manufacturer. Like, okay, we want this. And then when we get the sample in, then we just kind of like rough it up a bit, figure out the sleeves need to be shortened, the wrists need to be tighter, like the little things. That's the funnest part as well. And then getting the actual hoodie and seeing the change from the sample to the actual hoodie, because it's actually pretty drastic when you compare them.
Yeah, because like, have you learned a lot about the fabrics just from starting though?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we've learned about the different weights and how like first summer, what was that GSM for the last hoodie?
450. It was quite a heavy hoodie.
So it was like a heavy duty hoodie.
So where do you get your inspiration from? Like when you're choosing cuts of tees or like designs of your tees, like where is your sort of inspiration?
For these tees are dropping next year. The blue one is, or both of them actually.
Fresh.
Unreleased. The inspiration was from Balenciaga, the cut.
Yeah.
Because the neck's really high and like it's not tight, but it's like fitting.
Yeah.
And then the sleeves are like a longer, and the shirt's like the fitting's overall like baggy, but it's still fitted around the collar.
Yeah.
Which is what I really liked, and kind of like Acne as well, but we didn't want to copy
the big necks.
Yeah, like the big neck with the writing on it. But I like Balenciaga's a huge inspiration. Le Fleur from Tyler the Creator, his new line, like the colors from that, the color palettes. I've loved it because it's like really bright pastel tones.
Yeah. Because are you sort of sticking to, like, you guys sort of sticking to the same sort of color blocks in most of your stuff? Because you did your last hoodie one, you did 4 hoodies, 4 different colorways.
Yep. And then we went to pink and purple.
Yeah.
For the next hoodie, it's different. We're changing it up a bit. It's just like more of a theme to the drop instead of just like a color of a hoodie.
So you'd be like, oh, like we're in pastel season or something? Or
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And you think you would like keep going with that? Like color blocking?
Yeah, the next hoodie, we've got 2 samples coming in, one that's just full of the color and then one that's color blocked. I'm hoping the color blocked one looks better, so we can sell that and keep going with that aesthetic. But yeah, we'll just keep getting multiple samples in, whichever one looks best. We'll just go with that one.
Yeah, because it's definitely hard coming up with designs and keeping fresh. How do you guys reckon you're going to keep fresh? Like as a brand, like design wise?
I think speaking, throwing ideas out and realizing that there's no such thing as a bad idea.
Nah, never a bad idea.
Never a bad idea, right? Even if it sounds horrible at the time, I think some of the best ideas sound horrible at the start. You're like, no way. And then you think about it more and more and reflect on it and go, actually, we could try it. We could actually we could do it.
Or like, let's do this campaign. Yeah, and it's crazy.
Definitely. So, no, I think that creating as many designs as possible, you'll find one that you really like and other people hopefully like too.
Yeah, because I saw you guys are also doing events as well. What was that event on your Instagram?
Oh yeah, we got asked. We got asked to partner with this event group to run a day party in January, I think, 22nd of January, which is a bit different because our age demographics, like I think it's 17 to like 19, 20.
Yeah.
So it's kind of be interesting to see who comes to that.
Yeah,
but it's also good to branch out into a different age group because people there will be wearing our stuff and get more exposure that way.
Do you reckon you guys will do any pop-ups in the future off the back of this, or do you have any ideas for any pop-ups that you're going to be doing?
I mean, I think it was just difficult to gauge the demand at the start, and pop-ups kind of require a bit of setting up.
Yeah.
And so we thought we'll just get the clothes down pat, we'll get the garments sorted, and then we'll do that. But I think that this year definitely there'll be a couple of pop-ups and just trying to meet people. I think that'll be really exciting.
Well, that's how you sort of build a community as well. And it would be nice for you guys to meet all the people that are been following your brand from the start as well. Because people since you're only a small brand, but you're like building a big community.
Yeah, definitely. And you have people that have bought every drop, and I think that's cool, is like the OGs, the ones that have stuck with you, and just trying to hook them up too, and make them feel appreciated, because we do appreciate them very much.
Yeah, because we reach out to some people in DMs that have always been with us, and we just send them free stuff every now and then. Yeah. Just to kind of keep that tight-knit community going.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And like not many brands would do that as well. Like a lot of brands are very like selfish with it, and they're like not.
Nah, I feel like, and definitely at the start, we love to give it out and just show people like, we're happy to provide for you. And if you wear your stuff, that's more than enough. And like seeing people on the street wearing your stuff.
Have you seen that before?
A couple of people, Marcus, who's not here. He had a couple of people wearing the satchel at work and was just like, oh, how did you hear about us? And it wasn't like, it was through the marketing. It was through like, oh, my favorite player was wearing it. And we're like, oh, cool.
Because we had someone sent us a video at Spilt Milk, and in the background, there was just two people wearing it. Not even in the hoodie, just in the background. Yeah. Someone just spotted it and sent us a screenshot of it. And I was like, fuck, okay, cool, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
All these little things, you're like, oh, that we designed that, we did that.
Yeah.
This is like, this is like going somewhere.
Yeah, trying to create something bigger than yourself,
Yeah. How's that feeling? Like, how's that feeling? Like seeing people wearing your stuff as well.
It's really surreal. Like, shout out to Kados, actually. He was like one of the big, like, influencers to kind of get on board early on.
I think he was the first one. He was the one that we all saw, because at the start, you're just looking at who's following you. And we saw that. And we're like, damn. Yeah, we're like, oh, cool. Like, why? I don't know. Like, we were confused how he saw us. And so, shout out to Kados, because he like when he's doing his podcast for his YouTube channel, he's wearing the hoodie. Just on his stories, you just see him wearing it all the time. And he told us that. He's like, I wear this all the time, guys. But we're like, oh, maybe he does. Maybe he's trying to be nice. But no, he actually wears it all the time. And it gasses us up.
It shows your garments are good though. Like if people are like wanting to wear them all the time as well, then you must be doing something right, And like especially, like if you're not paying someone to wear it, like, and they still wear it, it's good, man.
You're doing something right. Yeah, so definitely.
What are your sort of plans for the next year, like 2023? Since you're going, when are you going to go away?
So I leave early January.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so really soon.
And how are you going to do that when you're in?
So we've added Kian. So shout out Kian. Yeah. Kian's going to help out with us and just sort of kind of doing what I was doing. Ben will sort of do more of that, and then Kian will help out along the way. And then, for me, there's not really much I can do. The time zone's going to be so different. I think it's really just trying to expand the brand and create a new audience there and do social media things.
Yeah. Because it's pretty much like you're going to be starting a whole new clothing brand again from the scratch, really.
That's it, yeah.
So what are your plans for that, like while you're over there, like having to restart? I
think that social media, and particularly like things like TikTok and even YouTube, are areas that we want to venture into.
Yeah.
I think that TikTok's one of those things that if you're consistent with it, that you really can do something. And the more you do it, the more chance you are to get a video that pops off.
Yeah, because it only takes one video, like
100% one off. Video.
And that's the reason why we like Official Vintage got so big was through TikTok.
Yeah,
like it's like because we just keep posting and we're consistent with.
Yeah,
posting.
I think if you keep posting, there'll be one video hopefully that can do well. And then trying to do that, and even YouTube videos. I don't know, some clothing brands do YouTube videos, but that's sort of something that we've thought about and think it's fun, even just for our own sake, even if like there's no real benefit to it. It's just sort of fun for us to put ourselves out there.
And it's also you're documenting it, like your journey then, Like
definitely.
If you want to do it, you probably should start now just so you could be like,
100%.
In 5 years' time when you look back, you're like, we've actually come like so far.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I think like you don't think about that when you're like a business owner. You're always just thinking about like what's next. Like we got all this stuff, but you never like smell the roses,
No, definitely. And the shoots, I think, as well, will be really sick in another place or France, and then even just around Europe, just
especially like
shooting with the garments. I think that'll be so cool. And people back here will be like, wait, what? Like they're in Barcelona doing a shoot.
Yeah, that's so random. That's good.
Just really random.
You could just go there for a weekend,
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Because how's that going to work? Because do you guys have a space, or is it out of your house, or
no?
It's out of his house.
Out of my house. It's been good, but that's the one thing is for postage. I'd sort of, because like I'm not going to invite them over just to do postage, so I'm like, I'll do it. But then when the orders are constant, it's kind of like, maybe we do need a centralized space that we can all meet at. So then it's not just like, oh, damn, I've got to process 10 orders today.
Yeah.
So then go to the post office.
And then because are you guys working as well at the moment?
Yep.
So are you working full-time, part-time?
So for me, just sort of part-time, but then full-time study.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm working full-time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So how have you guys found that with having like jobs and also making sure you're getting your orders out on time and designing and all that other stuff?
I think it's good, but I think hopefully this year we can start to work out, the direction of the business, how it's going, and then sort of reallocate our time. Because I think that if you put 100% of your effort into, I mean anything, but particularly, for us, putting 100% of your effort in, then, that's where you're most likely to grow and expand.
Yeah, for sure. So you're going to be doing that in Australia. What's your plans for 2023?
So we've got the next 5 drops planned in terms of what we want.
Yeah.
The plan for the start of the year between Jan and Feb is to get all the samples for all the drops in. So because we found that that's the best way to go about it, because the delay to get it just avoids any delays if we get it in earlier. Like if something goes wrong, we already have the product in, we can sell it, and then we can move on to the next one. Well, we kind of it's kind of like the brand's going to separate a bit, if that makes sense. Like he's going to be going to Europe, growing over there, but we're still going to be trying to make it huge over here.
That's what I mean.
Just TikTok as well. Just spam the algorithm. If he's posting in Europe, we're posting here like 3 a day or something.
Yeah, 3 a day.
Eventually, it's going to take off slowly.
Yeah.
Just use social media to our advantage, because it's insane how much growth we can get through that.
Yeah, especially TikTok, man. Have you guys started making TikToks yet or anything?
No. Well, we have a couple of videos, but not
like proper.
No.
Yeah, because it's like a bit different. Like there's all trends. Like, what direction do you reckon you're going to go on TikTok? Are you going to be educating people about your business? Are you going to be...
I think a cool idea that I had was having samples and just going and interviewing people on the streets of France and just showing them, being like, do you like this? And then even if they're honest, they're like, no, not really. Yeah. I think it's still cool, because then there'll be one person that has a cool reaction, and then people will be like, oh, that's funny or whatever, and like it. And then,
Because I think you can build community off that. Like I saw I think it was an ad or something about a mystery box, and it's like, oh, do you want to buy this mystery box for $1? You could do something cool like that as well,
Yeah, definitely.
Like, oh, do you want to buy this t-shirt for $1? It's our clothing brand or something.
Yeah, or it's like the, do you want one of the cakes, or do you want to pass it on to the second person? You could do that for like a hoodie or something. Or like the quizzes, they do like flag quizzes where they go and they're like, if you get these 3 flags right, you get a free hoodie. And like they just get views. Like
that's a good idea, I reckon.
Yeah,
like, especially overseas as well. It's like a bit cooler, because like your brand will be like, oh, this is a big ads brand, because you're like overseas as well,
Yeah,
I think it'll definitely like make your brand grow a lot, having like both your Australia and Europe.
Yep.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
But like, so pretty much it's at your house at the moment, but like once you leave, how's that all going to happen?
And so that's something that we need to work out. And this is what I mean, like a lot of the things we work out like a couple of weeks before. Like we're not, it's not that we're bad and we do plan things, but sometimes things are just spontaneous. And at the start, we're still trying to work out how to deal with everything and what to do. So one of these boys are going to take it. And then,
Do you reckon you'll find a space like soon, or like a warehouse?
I think that we'll look into that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Get some quotes and sort that out, because once you keep growing and having more garments, I feel like there's not enough space at the house.
Yeah,
and it's
like
just
it's in your garage or something, you know?
Yeah, and
like
I think
because even when we first started, like, we were living in a 2-bedroom apartment, me and Stu, and he pretty much, we had clothes stacked up. Like the only way he could walk is through the walkway of clothes. Like it was full bad, and we're like to a point where Stu's like, nah, we got to get a shop or a store. And like I think that's where you guys are going to probably be hitting, you know?
Yeah.
Like because once you're like, oh, this drop you only like you have one box, and then you like sell out, and then you have like 3 boxes your next garment, you know?
100%.
And it's just like, where's all this space?
Yeah.
And especially because you were saying just before, like you guys are going to have all your drops like organized and ready, like the 5 drops or whatever.
Yep.
And the sample's already done, so you already like can plan for it as well, you know?
Definitely. And I was going to ask, how do you find the online versus in-store?
So yeah, online is good just because we built our business from online.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and with the in-store, it's like more community, like people come in and like, it's definitely like a destination, and it's like a spot that people can come and chill, like especially younger kids and stuff. They always like meet up at the store because it's like, but it's just like real cool when that's like, for me, it's like, oh yeah, that's the stuff that I really fucking love. And
it's the meeting spot.
It's like the meeting spot for all these kids, and I'm just like,
This
is crazy. But yeah, it's like the same. You guys will get it when you start doing your first pop-ups and like stuff like that, I reckon, as well.
Yeah.
Because you're moving into more, another thing I wanted to say, you're moving from T-shirts and now you've done bags. How's that changeover been?
Oh, actually
like
really good.
Bags,
yeah, really good. Because we sold out of them a week ago, I think. They sold out in like 2 weeks, which is pretty cool for just an accessory.
Yeah. Do you reckon you guys will get into any more accessories?
Yeah, we're looking into some stuff now.
Yeah.
Like slowly just kind of branching out, because it's good because we don't expect to sell out of satchels in like a night.
No.
It's kind of cool just to have it on the website every day. You just sell a couple here and there. And then you post something on Instagram, like 20 sell out. Like it's just like good seeing it grow. We do want to get to the point where we have more stuff on the website more regularly. But then kind of keep the hoodies and stuff limited, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so you're going to keep your like normal T-shirt blocks. Are you going to get into like knitted sweaters? Are you going to get into any different like sort of design? You said you guys were into like Balenciaga and stuff like that.
So I've already like got a design ready for a cardigan. Trying to get one of those done. And also a varsity jacket, but make it really limited. Just like kind of for like if we have a pop up, it'll be at that for the first people that kind of enter, they get the chance to get it. Yeah. Make like cool limited pieces like that.
Would you do like one of 10 or something like that?
Yeah, literally. Yeah, make like 2, like have 5 sizes, make 2 in each size.
Yeah.
And then the people that come in can just have the chance to get it.
Yeah, especially like when you're marketing like that as well, you know what I mean? Like, especially because it's always good to do these hoodies and these T-shirts and stuff like that, but then you got to like branch out into new stuff like bags, maybe rings, I don't know. Like,
rings, sunglasses as well. We'll look at the sunnies,
because everyone's like in the sunnies at the moment. There's those ones that are going around the silver ones that everyone are wearing. Like, but then everyone's just like replicating them as well. Like even Balenciaga and stuff are replicating those. Yeah. And then like even Prada, I think, did one, and I'm just like, I don't know, because our vibe is summer, so it just makes sense to have summery items like tote bags as well. Get them made. Yeah. Some beach towels would be pretty cool. Beach towels. It's like little things. Yeah. So you reckon you're gonna have a whole bunch of like accessories in the future? 100%. Yeah, just random things, not just typical clothing, just your tees, your hoodies, like other things. Which is like you've stuck to what you're saying. It's like you're a lifestyle brand as well, and like you want to have all that stuff where it's available, and it's like I think it's like super cool. For you guys. No, and I think with that, then you can slowly become a household name, and I think that's the goal for us. Is like, Banana Lagoon. Yeah, that like people know about it. Like not just hoodies. Like you can walk into someone's apartment and there's like a rug or like that'd be sick. They got towels and or like some prints or something like that. You know, like dope like prints. So my last question for you guys: what's the biggest stuff you've learned? Because you're such a new brand. What are some of the biggest things you've learned while starting this clothing brand? I think communication. Speaking about whatever's happening. There are sometimes where someone hasn't told someone what they've done, and it's like, I sold this hoodie. It's like, we're going to sell that to someone else. It's like, whoops. Well, we're going to have to deal with that. I think that communication is important, and just listening to everyone's ideas and collaborating. I think that, those are the lessons, and time management. And time management. And with with say for making the garments, is there any things that you've learned along the way that might help other people and that are listening to the podcast?
When you get the sample and if it's shit, don't be scared, because I like it when the sample's shit, because you can actually work with it. Because if it's a good sample, then you're just like, I don't know, it's just not as fun, because there's nothing to improve on it. Like I like tightening little things here and there, making like the waist a bit shorter, like the little things. It makes it more fun. But also moving on to what Dana was just saying then, one of the things that we've learnt is holding each other accountable for like the little things. Like if someone's slacking in one department, even though we're all best mates, like when we started, it was hard to kind of tell someone like, oh, look, mate, you got to pick up what you're doing. But now it's a lot easier. We'll just be like, mate, what are you doing? Like, we told you to do this 2 days ago. You haven't done it yet.
It's like actually being accountable, Yeah. It's like, that's one thing that I'm still learning as well. Like, I've still got to be accountable for things that I do. I'm like, oh yeah, like I've done that, full fucked up. But I'm like the first one to be like, yeah, I fucked up. You know? And I think like that's a massive like lesson to learn, like in the future of your business as well. Do you guys want to plug yourself, your Instagram, TikTok, YouTube?
Everything's just at Banana Lagoon. Actually, TikTok's at Banana Lagoon brand, because Banana Lagoon was taken.
When's your next drop?
Middle of January.
Middle of January.
Yeah. Get ready.
2 tees. The tees.
2 tees, cargo shorts, and then we've got baby tees for chicks.
Oh no! So for the summer, we'll just do for the first drop. We'll just be
those
this one. Oh, that one. So just this tee, and then after I think.
Yeah. Sweet. So if you're watching YouTube, blue tees
dropping. The blue tees dropping, guys, and the cargos. I think I'm really excited for the cargos.
Yeah.
Cargos are a vibe, eh?
Yeah,
a vibe.
I would have worn them today, but they're dirty because I wear them too much.
But that's when you know you've got a good product. You just like wear them to the ground, which is good. Literally. But yeah, thanks for hopping on, guys. I'm grateful for the time.
Thank you so much for having us.
Really, really excited to see where your brand goes in the next few years, and hopefully you get to jump on the podcast in a few years' time, and you're like,
"That's it. It's going to happen. We're going to make it happen this time in a couple of years."
Yeah. Well, I'll make you accountable for this one.
That's it. That's the accountability.
Sweet. Thanks for hopping on, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.